We get this question all the time. Who is buying homes in today's market? Mortgage rates are at 5%. How the heck are people pulling this off? And most people assume that it's all these crazy wealthy people running around. And the truth is, these are middle to upper middle class people who worked extremely, extremely hard, often 10 plus hour days in a high stress, high pressure career. Usually it's a dual income household, both the husband and the wife doing this. And they saved money. They lived a no frills lifestyle. Usually took them about 10 years to get to this point. Oftentimes they lived with their parents for years and years and years, even after being married, sometimes even after having a kid. And also what's unique about this is people assume the family gave them hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for a down payment. And while that often is the case, what people don't consider is that these people also have the same mentality of when their siblings need help, they're going to be paying that money back if they have it available. Or when their parents can no longer walk anymore, their parents need care, they're going to contribute and maybe buy a home together, and the parents are going to move in with them. They're going to care for them. So the family oriented mindset kind of goes two ways. And it's easy to just throw out there, oh, they got a big gift. Sometimes they do get a no strings attached gift, but oftentimes it's a part of this mindset that people have, family orientation. And I find a lot of second, third generation Canadians, we're a lot more individualistic. We don't have that kind of mindset. And to be frank, it's causing people to get left behind in the real estate market.
So we love to blame our crazy housing costs on foreign buyers, but the problem is they were banned. Investors, they have pulled back last year when the cash flow went deeply negative. Blame it on 40-year declines in interest rates. Well, it's the highest it's been in 13 years. So the truth is the Canadian government opened up the country to a lot of extremely hardworking, intelligent, family-orientated and disciplined people who really, really love real estate. They did all this while simultaneously choking out the new supply of housing.
So really, it's the government we have to blame. You can't blame immigrants. They were allowed to come here, and they came here by the proper process, and they worked extremely hard to now position themselves to buy this real estate. They deserve to own that home. The solution is to expand supply. The government needs to actually put in place incentives so that the right amount of housing can be built, cut the red tape, blast through municipal barriers, and get the supply delivered to the people, because it does suck that you have to be willing to sacrifice all of this to own a home in Canada now. And it shouldn't be that way. I think it's a really good middle class goal that you can live a normal life where you're not, with your parents, with kids, and like slaving away like 100 hours a week. You should be able to live a normal middle class life and be able to buy a home, but you can't blame that on the people that are willing to do more than that to get that goal. You have to blame it on the government who's restricting the supply.
So these are great ideas. Unfortunately, it's going to take years if we ever want to get back to that place. The government has been pretty useless so far, so don't hold your breath, but it might be time to start grinding instead, or reframe your mindset and be content with renting.
And just a side note, when we talk about hard work and sacrifice and deserving the home that you worked for, we are referring to middle class people who grew up and had these opportunities presented them. It was like, hey, do you want to work 80 hours a week or 40 hours a week? Do you want to work super hard in school and become a lawyer? Or do you want to do teaching, which is a equally great job, but pays quite a bit less. And so these are choices that middle class people make. For people who grew up poor and with trauma, we're not including them in this conversation because they started on first base and they didn't even have the opportunity probably to own a home even if they wanted to, because they were dealing with so much stuff. And obviously some people are able to crawl out of that, but it's really, really difficult. And so this is constrained to the middle class context. If someone worked harder than you, don't blame them for getting the home.